Okay, so the black flies are f***ing terrible. We're about to find out, aren't we? Good morning and welcome to the Holiday Homestead. Yesterday was the Canadian Homesteading Conference, which was in Lanark, which is, just over an hour from here. So we went and we had a wonderful time, but I'll talk about that more later in this video. Last night as well, we had a frost here, which was kind of unexpected. I know it's still May, but it's been actually kind of nice, and yesterday it was nice, so I'm coming out here to check the greenhouse because I hope I didn't lose any plants. I closed up all the windows and shut the door, and I watered everything really well to try and save it, so I really hope that this isn't a repeat of last year when I lost all my plants basically twice in a row. So anyways, wish me luck, guys. Here we go. I hope my plants are okay. Well, it's really hot in here, to be expected though. But soil looks like bone dry because it unfortunately got too hot in here, but everything seems to be okay. I think we were lucky this time. I think everything survived. I'm gonna water it all though, just so that it's not as dry as what it is in here right now. We'll get some windows open. Cool. We didn't lose any plants. So normally I turn this fan on, but I'm gonna leave it off for a couple minutes while I make this video, because otherwise all you hear is this fan and I don't have a fancy microphone. So by the way, if you see me swatting the air, it is black fly season. I'm sure a lot of you guys know what that means. It is literally my most hated time of the year, and they dive bomb my eyeballs and my nose and my ears, and it's just truly awful. You want to get outside, but you can't because they're just swarming you. So, anyways, yesterday was the homesteading conference, and it was really awesome. So I got a ton of seeds, and if you've been watching my other videos, you'll know that I left a couple of trays unplanted, and I'm so glad that I did because I have room to plant these seeds. So I'm gonna do that. I'll just explain the seeds that I got here. So from the homesteading conference specifically, it is cucamelon seeds. It says, thank you for coming to the Eastern Ontario Homesteading Conference. Let's see if we can... Jeez, I'm really terrible at showing the camera. Can you see that? Maybe it's blurry? Maybe not? Okay, well, sorry. I tried. So, got the cucamelon seeds, which are really neat. And from Hickorycroft Farm, so I got there's 4 little packets in here. So I got the yellow crookneck squash, the Canada crookneck squash, green striped Kusha, am I pronouncing that right? Sorry. Squash, and the big blue squash. So this is really exciting because of the trellis in the garden, I can actually grow things like this up the trellis, and it can hang down into the trellis. So I'm really excited about this. So I'm gonna put these in soil and start this. Okay, so next I am gonna plant Hickorycroft Farms squash seeds. And I'm not gonna plant all of them just in case we get a frost that like actually kills stuff. So I'm just gonna plant a little from each and save some seeds just in case. Okay, I'm gonna quickly label that before I forget which one is which. Come on in. Say hi.
How's it going, everyone?
Tell them about the homesteading conference.
Oh, that was pretty fun meeting all the other YouTubers. We kind of already talk to them online and see them on their videos, but actually meeting people in person is a great experience. And it seems to be a good turnout. So next year I'm hoping that it's going to be a little bit bigger. Now we've done it once, it should be a little bit bigger for the next few years, hopefully.
Yeah, next year will be fun.
Yeah, definitely. What are you doing?
I'm just planting the squash and I'm just trying to figure out which one is which. I'll quickly label this, and then by the time I got my labeling stuff. Okay, so I saved some seeds just in case. Like I said, frost takes out the greenhouse. We got extra seeds. So, speaking of the homesteading conference, we do have some footage from that, which I will show you right here.
It's the first annual Homesteaders Conference. I'm Mike from Me&U Acres.
I'm Remy from Rem's Family Farm.
Darren from Thorhaven Farms.
And Chris from Hickory Farm. This is something, we all have YouTube channels, and I'm going to let everybody kind of introduce themselves a little bit more here in a second. But we basically get together every 2 weeks and we talk about homestead related topics. It may vary quite a bit. So this is our usual panel, and this is our homesteading roundtable. So I'm going to pass it back down to Remy to kind of give a little bit of introduction on him and his channel.
Well, I just traveled 12 hours to be here. I'm from northern New Brunswick, and for those of you who don't know, I'm an Acadian French, so I'm trying my best to make myself understood in English. I'm not so bad, I guess. I have a family of 5 kids, and when everything hit the fan, I decided to get deeper into the homesteading life, and YouTube came right after that, and since then I've been, doing my best to bring as much food as possible at home. And this year, for those of you who know what Shed Wars is, I'm in Shed Wars, and hoping to grow as much food as possible.
Hi, I'm Mike, New Acres. 2019, my wife and I sold our house in Oshawa and bought a log cabin and moved out to the country. So now we're just around Denby, Ontario. Thank you, my better half. So we're currently building a log cabin, and we carved it out of the middle of the woods, and we're making a go at it.
So at Thorhaven Farm, we are about an hour north of Quebec City. We've got Highland cows, rabbits, we do honeybees, pigs, chickens, meat chickens, and laying chickens. We do Chanticleer, same as Chris. They're great for our weather, northern climate, so that works really well for us. We try and grow a ton of food. Last year we were able to stock away about 6 months of fruit and veggies, and we grew away about a year's worth of meat. So.
And I'm Chris, part of Apricot Farm, and well, we've been homesteading / growing our own food for a very long time, since about 2008, and but we haven't been sort of documenting it through YouTube until 2020 when we started, and it's all really interesting. And there's definitely lots to talk about. So super simple question. Why do you homestead / grow food? I'm going to say that a lot. Homestead / grow food. But so there's the question. So off to you, Ray.
What was first? Well, always had stomach issues, acid reflux and stuff like that. So for me, when I learned that I could actually grow my own food, it was just like, wow, okay, I can grow my own food and not be sick anymore. If I buy chicken from the store, I get sick. I spend the night up, and you don't want to know the details. So by growing my own food, way healthier. It's been amazing. Like, I feel so much better. I also wanted to give the kids, a different direction in life, I guess, like a different option instead of just going to the store. I wanted to show them where the food comes from. And that's what I'm trying to do with them. Like, they're starting to finally realize that the amount of work that it takes. And I work a full-time job, and my girlfriend is at home with the kids, and she's stuck with the mini ear disease, so she can't go out in the garden. She can't really help me, even though she wanted to. She really can't go, and she has allergies to the animals. So I do pretty much everything on my own. But yeah, I still manage to do it because I know it's the right thing to do, and I want to have healthy food on the table.
Good job.
So our adventure started when we were living in Oshawa, and my wife started gardening and got me hooked on fresh salad from her garden. And I started to realize that all the food tastes so much better when it's just fresh out of your garden, or if you can make it yourself. So that started our journey. Then compound that with her grandfather built his own house with his own hands. He was a bricklayer in his day. So we started trying to document this journey for our grandkids and our kids, because we always wanted to see what they were like in their time, how they did their journey, how they went about it. And so we've kind of gotten into this, and we both love being in the country. We've had chickens, turkey, we have think 8 goats currently at the house, in the homestead. Dogs, cats, and you know, it's just gonna grow from here. We're hoping to have a greenhouse this year. Last August we moved up and started carving the homestead out at the bush, and we have the cabins almost finished. Big barn that we've been living in over the winter inside the barn in a trailer. So it's been an adventure, and that's the way we keep looking at it. It's a grand adventure. Some days are better than others, but we share it all.
I think I got into it because I saw a couple natural disasters happen close to us, train derailments. There was a tornado in Barrie years ago. The Quebec ice storm happened as well. So there's been stuff like that where I always wanted to have some extra food put away. We have insurance on our vehicles, on our houses, on everything else. So for me, sticking food away was kind of having that extra insurance, just another way to do it. So we've been trying to expand the gardens and the animals every year, trying to grow more and more. We've got the greenhouse finally going, and that's allowed us to extend our growing season by a few months on each end, basically. So the more I'm able to stock away, the better as well. It allows us to rely less on the grocery chain, the global food system, that what we've seen in the last 2 years is issues with that as well, trying to deliver stuff. Not only that, but we can get the cuts of meat we want from our pigs, from our cows. We know what has been fed, we know what they've been eating, so there's no worry about going in and buying chickens and they've injected them with water, so you're paying extra for the weight and that kind of stuff.
So I guess mine goes back to my childhood, I guess. My great-grandmother and my family used to have a garden. And I'll be honest, at the time, I wasn't necessarily a lot involved in it. But I still remember it. And then when I went to college, and you start buying your own food. I'm going to say it. When you're buying squash is expensive. And I'll be honest, I remember this. The amount of squash that you can grow for very, very little investment is astronomical. So it was like, well, there's where to start. And of course, in some ways, the rest, I guess, is history, or recent history, or whatever you want to call that. But as a biologist, kind of my background is in biology, I guess I really get into the nitty-gritty of things like seed saving, keeping population dynamics, and trying to be as sustainable as possible with still the goal of feeding yourself. And that can lead to some pretty interesting thoughts, discussions, and goings on. So I guess that's kind of where it started, and it just layers upon itself year after year after year. If money wasn't an issue, would you homestead / grow your own food full time?
Right there. Yeah. I mean, if I could, I would love to spend time. Spend time in the garden all day. No better therapy than that. Or in the nature. To me, it's just like a no-brainer. If I had the money to do whatever I want, I would just retire right now and do this life full time.
I think my dad said it best when he told me I would farm until I was broke. And he farmed as long as he could. We've always loved being out in the woods. My family's always gone camping. We've gone, pontooning, skiing, the whole 9 yards. And I love being able to give that back to my grandkids, because my parents are old and they're in the city now and relaxing in their years. So I would definitely do this. I might do it a little more lavishly and have some things built for me rather than built myself. But that's some days are better than others.
For me, I don't know if I'd quit my actual job to homestead full time. I definitely want my girlfriend Bridget to not have to do what she does, so she could be home and homestead full time. But for myself, I love it. I I wouldn't change it for the world, but I like what I do too. So maybe I'll take more vacations and work less hours, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, I wouldn't change a thing. I love it, so.
Well, I think that I'm the lucky one going last because I think I can basically say I agree with basically everything you all said there. Would I keep growing food, homesteading? Absolutely. I definitely would do what Mike said, and there are parts of it that if money wasn't an issue, would potentially be done better or faster, which may help us with headaches at times. But at the same time, I wouldn't, as I say, because of my biology background, I wouldn't stop doing what I'm doing, but I may not do it full time if money was, not an object or not an issue. But of course, that question's a bit of a, So, next question, because I'm kind of assuming, in the audience we've got people that are at all different stages of their homesteading or food growing journey. So, for each of you, if there was one piece of advice that you could sort of give to somebody, I'm going to say who's never homesteaded, they're starting. We'll go with that. What would it be? This is a tough one.
First thing is make sure about the property you want to buy. Make sure you're allowed to have chickens. So
They identify as dogs. Right?
yeah, they identify as dogs now. No, just make sure that you're comfortable with the property you're buying, and once that's done, just start planning. Just start. The first step is pretty much for everyone. If you got chickens, they're pretty easy. Plant the first seed. Just go ahead and do it because the longer you wait, time passes by. I started by watching people on YouTube, reading stuff on the internet, learning as much as I could, and then suddenly just like, okay, I'm gonna go and do it. And as soon as I started doing it, it was just like, wow, okay, this is fun. This is something different. This is what we were meant to do. Like, this is what we were meant to be on Earth for. Grow our own food, be outside in the nature, do our own thing. Just this advice is just start now. Just go ahead and do it.
Depending on what stage you're at, I would say always walk the land. If you're starting off fresh and you're building a new place, walk the property first before you buy it. I was given that advice by somebody in the family, and it's panned out 100%. Something else I've learned is if you're planning your property, plan on where you're going to put your garden first. So make sure that when you clear the land, you got to clear that soft field first. I've had to learn that as well when I've changed the plans a few here and there. But yeah, like Remy said, get out there and do it. You just, it brings you back down. It brings you back to level when you're out there in nature and walking the land and working the land, and it just brings a peace into your life. So enjoy your adventure.
Get started, and take a step every day. It doesn't matter what you do, but just do something every day to improve your situation, improve your property, improve where you're at. I always use the analogy, if you're plant a fence post every day for a year, in that year you'll have 3,6,500 feet of fence. So it's something that, even if you have half an hour in a day, just go out, fix a wire or clean something up or do something, but improve your situation every day. Take that little bit of time.
So now I get to agree with everything. which I do agree with. They're all really good points. I think I'm going to say two things that are kind of together. One, don't stop learning, because no matter how many years you've done it, no matter whether you're year 1 or year 50, there's still going to be something that you can learn to add to what you're doing. It could be any skill. There's numerous skills, and the sky's the limit there. The other thing, which I am going to bring it back to do, despite the way that the world sometimes feels, potentially even now, if you're just starting, don't let it get too heavy or too overwhelming on you, because you can have this feeling, and I even have it sometimes, where it's like, I'm not doing enough, it's not working well enough, it's not whatever. You have to step back, because you're not going to get to, it's not a race, it's a marathon. You're not going to get to the end in year one. Keep that in mind. I think that's, no matter where you are at in your homesteading journey, that's an important point. So you guys all agree with me?
Definitely think there's going to be more farms, like smaller scale, like ours. People supporting themselves, where instead of going big, going commercial, or medium-sized farms, I think we're going to see more and more our style pop up and be more of a common thing now going forward.
So that was kind of the question thing.
Squash.
How did you say squash?
Oh, you did. I thought for sure. That question was going to be, everybody is going to be growing 500 pounds of squash.
Well, that's one way to save the world. But I guess on that note, that's kind of the last sort of official question I had. And some areas of the U.S., for example, do, where it's just like growing squash is a nightmare. So definitely something to keep in mind. The further you get into this, you're going to learn a whole bunch of new skill sets, because kind of like here with the knowledge, you've got the growing, which is, a good place to start. But then you can get into things like, if you're trying to do it for sustainability, seed saving. That's a big one, because I'll show you a slide in a minute of why that could be a big one. Preserving and cooking, those are huge when it comes to vegetables, because tomatoes is a great example. They can produce you literally hundreds of pounds of food, but when that food is ready, it doesn't have a long shelf life. You have to turn it into something, and you have to be able to do that in a time frame before it goes bad, and then essentially it's wasted at that point. Doesn't mean it can't go to your animals, but and yeah, I keep repeating. I sound like a broken record, but we're just over 50%. From a weight perspective, we were only 50% of what we would actually consume as a family before. Now, that's not saying that maybe we couldn't reduce some of the amount of food we eat. That's another part, but so we're not even there.
So I hope you liked that, those clips from the homesteading conference. I'm wearing a net because of the black flies, like I said. Dave is working on sanding down his birdhouse, and he made that last week, and he's just cleaning up right now, so I'll show you what he's doing. How's the black flies?
They haven't bothered me yet. Yep, they haven't bothered me yet.
So if you're new to our channel, because we got some new subscribers lately, this is our greenhouse. We have videos on how we built it. And so it is one of those old Shelter Logic shelter frames, and the tarp disintegrated, which they always do. So what we did was we put the frame up, and then Dave attached this corrugated greenhouse plastic sheeting. Like, it's not soft, like it's actually hard, and we did that because we get a ton of wind out here, and there's no way we could keep like a sheet a greenhouse sheet on one of these things, it would blow off immediately and the snow would destroy it as well. So if you're wondering how we built our greenhouse and want to see a step-by-step, look back on our videos. It would have been last spring that we threw this up. And so this is our second year with it, and it lasted the winter just fine. It didn't collapse, the snow fell off of it, it was perfect. So that's how we built our greenhouse. So if you want to check that out, look back on my videos. I'll try and put a link in the description if I remember to. So that is our greenhouse. Also, I just wanted to talk to you about our trellises. So again, if you're new to our channel, I just kind of want to explain them. So if you go way back into our videos, and our very first video was us putting up these trellises, and because it was our first video on YouTube, it's a really poor video, it's not well done. So I'm just gonna kind of explain how we did it. So here in Canada, cattle panels are ridiculously overpriced, and so that's how we were originally gonna do it. And then when we went to go buy them, we were like, this is way too much money for how many trellises we want to actually do. So we had this goat fencing, and so what we did was we fenced in the garden first of all, because we have deer and wildlife that would come in here and eat everything. So we put the fence around, and then we using the goat fencing, which is not as sturdy as cattle panels, but it's still sturdy enough for growing stuff on. It does have some flex in it, but it holds its shape. So this is going to be our third summer with these, and they've stayed in the exact same position that they've been in since we put them in. So they've held up. We've grown a lot of stuff on this. So we put the T-posts in the ground, and so each section of the cattle, sorry, not the cattle panel, the goat fencing is 4 feet. So every 4 feet there is a T-post, and it's zip tied on, and then we cut, so specifically this is a 12-foot piece that we brought around, and we attached it to the fence. Although you could use, if you didn't fence in your garden, you could use an even longer piece and just use T-posts. So again, we put the T-posts on the other side every 4 feet. And this is just kind of a cheaper option. And because everybody wants to use the cattle panels, but I mean, for us, because each section of these trellises are quite long, so this is 20, just over 20 feet this side, and then that side is 12 or 15 feet. So you know, that's a lot of money if you were to use cattle panels. And so just to compare, we got a 100-foot roll of goat fencing. So this would have been 3 summers ago, and I'm sure the price has changed now because of inflation, but we got 100 feet for, what was it, $110. So I think we used in total, including fencing in this garden, I think we used 4 rolls of fencing, which was way cheaper than the cattle panel thing. So anyways, I just wanted to explain to you. I keep mentioning, oh, I'm going to grow this on my trellis, and you know, this will be really cool on my trellis, and this is what I mean. So I'm just kind of offering it as a cheaper option if you don't have cattle panels or you can't afford them. The goat fencing works perfectly fine. Like I said, there is a bit of flex, but it's not terrible. I've grown pumpkins and squash up these, and they've hung down, and they've never, you know, got too bent out of shape or anything like that. So I am quite happy with this. And so if you're in the market to make some trellis tunnels, try goat fencing. So a few weeks ago, I asked Dave to make me these raised beds to go around the stairs. Just kind of make the stairs a little bit nicer. And so he built them kind of custom to fit the depth of the stairs and the height, but they're a little bit taller so that if you step off the steps, you're not going to step into one of these. So I'm just going to plant pretty flowers in these. And but the first step is kind of getting them in place and filling them up with soil. So I also need to empty out these winter arrangements that I made at the end of last fall, just to kind of make the porch look nice. But now it's time for it to come out. So I'm gonna fill the bottom of those raised beds by the stairs with the debris from this. How's it going, Dave?
It's going.
So I have a video on when I made that arrangement, and I just used dogwood and cedar. So if you want to know how to do that, look on back on that video. I guess I need more bags.
Oh, not bad, but yes.
Yeah. Okay, you can go get me more bags?
I got a few more left. I'll go get them. Black flies are terrible.
Why don't you wear a net like normal people?
It's one easy way to say that. I'm just not normal. Where do you want these bags?
I would put one more or half of one.
You come around and the black flies are worse. Brutal.
Listen,
Linda.
they like everybody. Okay. It's better than what it did. Okay. So the black flies are terrible.
That's for sure.
And yeah. We got the beds around the porch filled, at least they're ready to plant, but I won't be planting them for another probably 2 weeks. Just because of the way temperatures around here, so but they're filled up, they're ready to go. And we're gonna go in and get away from the black flies because they're truly awful.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because there's a lot of stuff I want to do outside. But
I know, it's so nice out. Other than the black flies. Got like 100 of them buzzing around my head right now.
they're okay while you went over there.
They're attracted to you too.
No, I know, but you went over there and
They followed me.
they followed you. It was funny because I went with the lawnmower back to back. It was about 20 minutes before I got attacked by him.
Oh,
They found me.
they found you.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed our footage from the Canadian, the Canadian Homesteading Conference. And I don't know, we wanted to film more yesterday, but it
was new and we've never done it before, so maybe next year will be a little bit more filming. And
if you want to see more footage, check out the other YouTubers that went. But it was just a lot to take in. There's a lot of people to meet and a lot of things to hear and a lot of things to see, so we didn't really get much footage, unfortunately, but I'm sure somebody out there has way better footage of it than we do. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye!
See ya.